Good evening. It's time for some bedtime stories. And I'm going to give just another minute or so to see if we have anybody else joining us. And tonight we are going to read 3 books. And one book is about 2 actual dogs. And one book is about a little girl. And one book is about an imaginary creature. And so there might be something for everybody tonight. I think we'll go ahead and get started. My first book is called Boot and Shoe, and it is by Marla, Frazee, and it is one of my favorites. I really love dogs, and I love books about dogs, and so I thought I would read this to you. It's written and illustrated by Marla Frazee, and the publisher is Simon & Schuster. So let's do this one. Okay, Boot and Shoe were born into the same litter, and they live in the same house. Look at them, they're so tiny. Oh my goodness. They eat dinner out of the same bowl, and they pee on the same tree. Oh my goodness, isn't that silly? Can you see them peeing on the same tree? Oh, so silly. At night, they sleep in the same bed. Oh my goodness, they're awfully cute. I think they probably really like each other a lot, don't you? But Boot spends his days on the back porch because he's a back porch kind of dog. And Shoe spends his days at the front porch because he's a front porch kind of dog. This is exactly perfect for both of them. Lovely illustration. Look at their big house. So you know one is in the back and one is in the front. Then one day, for no apparent reason, a squirrel started some trouble. Uh-oh. Here we go. Let's see what this squirrel is up to. He chattered at Boot. He chattered at Shoe. He threw stuff at Boot. It threw stuff at Shoe. Oh my goodness, can you see this naughty squirrel? I'm sorry, I have to get used to how to show you the book. Look at this naughty, naughty, naughty stuff going on. And then it got all up in Boots' business, and it got all up in Shoe's business too. Whoa, something had to be done. So the squirrel is chattering. Have you heard what a squirrel chattering sounds like? They can be very loud up in the trees. They almost sound like birds, but they're not. It's a squirrel. And they can be very, very pushy too. If you've ever tried to feed your birds with a bird feeder and you've had a squirrel stealing all the food, well, imagine that. That's what this squirrel is up to with Boot and Shoe. So, Boot and Shoe chased that squirrel all over the place. They chased it and chased it and chased it and chased it until it got bored and walked away. Look at this illustration. You can see all of the places they went all over the house. Oh my goodness. They must be exhausted. And off goes the squirrel, walking away. There he goes. He's all done. I wonder if they've even noticed that he's gone. Oh, Boot collapsed. Shoe collapsed too. When Boot opened his eyes, he saw that he was on the front porch. He looked around for Shoe. Shoe should be here, but he wasn't. Oh no. When Shoe opened his eyes, he saw that he was on the back porch. He looked around for Boot. Boot should be here, but he wasn't. Oh no! So poor Boot and Shoe, they're on the wrong sides of the porch on the house. So, Boot searched the front porch for Shoe. He looked under things, over things, around things, and between things. No luck. Oh, look at him, he's so sad. Oh my goodness. You can tell how attached they are to each other. Look how sad he got. He can't find his buddy. Shoo searched the back porch for Boot. He looked under things, over things, around things, and in between things. No luck for him either. Look. Oh, so sad. Look at this sad mark above his eye. Oh. The illustrator has done such a good job showing us how sad. Boot decided to station himself on the front porch and wait there until Shoo found his way back. Seems like a good idea, right? Just sit and wait. If you're lost, just sit and wait. And Shoo decided to station himself on the back porch and wait until Boot found his way back. Uh-oh, but now they're both sitting, not finding each other. And there's no one to ask for help either, right? It was a long, lonely afternoon. Oh, how sad. Look at them, they're each drooping. Their little heads drooping. Do you think they're gonna find each other? How would this work out? Let's see. When it was dinner time, Boots' stomach rumbled, but he didn't want to eat dinner without Shoo. Oh, they do everything together, don't they? Shoo's stomach grumbled, but he didn't want to eat dinner without Boot. It was a long, hungry evening. At bedtime, Boots was shivering, but he didn't want to get in bed without Shoo. And Shoo was shivering too, but he didn't want to get in bed without Boots. Oh my goodness, these poor dogs. And look now, it's raining. Oh, what a drag. Let's see. Once, during the night, Boot walked slowly around the back to see if Shoo was there. Uh-oh, but what's happening? Who's doing that at the same time? Oh no! And Shoo walked slowly around to the front porch to see if Boot was there. But no luck again. They're doing everything together at the same time, so they're missing each other. Oh, that is so silly. Do you think they're gonna find each other? What would you do if you were missing your buddy that you were always with and knew where to find? Well, he's a dog. They're both dogs, so I wonder what they should do. So, Boot ended up back on the front porch waiting for Shoo. Oh. And Shoo ended up back on the back porch waiting for Boot. Oh, it was a long, sleepless night. So sad. The sun came up on the front porch, and there was still no sign of Shoo. Boot began to cry. On the back porch, there was still no sign of Boot, and so Shoo began to cry too. But even in the worst of times, a dog still needs to pee. Do you remember they pee on the same bush? Remember that from the beginning? Boot dragged himself over to the tree, and Shoo dragged himself over to the tree too. And suddenly, lo and behold, there they were again. Oh, look at this. They're both peeing on the same tree. So silly. Overjoyed to see each other. Overtired, too. Do you remember why? It's because they've been up all night worrying about each other. Oh, but look at them now. Oh. So even though the day was just beginning, Boot and Shoo decided that the exact perfect thing for both of them to do was go right to bed. together, of course. Oh, there they are. I think this is a very splendid little book. It's very cute. There they are. Boot is a back porch kind of dog, and Shoe is a front porch kind of dog, and that is exactly perfect for both of them. So Boot and Shoe, one of my all-time favorites, because I love dogs and I love a silly plot. All right, so the next one we talked about was, I don't remember which order I told you about them in, but number 2 book is going to be Astro Girl by Ken Wilson Max. And he drew the pictures and wrote the words. And this is about a little girl with big dreams. Can you see her? Maybe some of you can relate. And this book is published by Otterberry Books and Candlewick in this country. To tell you all of that, so I can read them aloud. There she is. Here's our friend. Astrid loved the stars and space ever since she could remember. Oh, look at that. What in the picture tells you that she loves outer space? She's got a telescope, and she has an airplane, rocket ship rather, and she's got a globe. You have to know about Earth to know about space too. Here she is with her best friend. Her best friend's on this side. There we go. I want to be an astronaut, Astrid told her best friend Jake as they gazed up at the stars. Oh, summertime is a great time to look at the stars. And you can check out a telescope from your library now too. Will you bring me an asteroid when you come back from outer space? Asked Jake. Oh, of course I will, Jakey. I want to be an astronaut, Astrid said at breakfast. Are you sure? Papa asked. You have to go round and round the Earth in your spaceship. He swung her around. Oh, there she goes. I can do that, said Astrid, giggling. She's brave. What about eating food out of a tube or a pancake or a package every day? Oh, I can do that, said Astrid as she munched on a cereal bar. Okay, Astro Girl, you'll also have to get used to zero gravity. Papa threw her up in the air. I can do that all day long, Astrid laughed. Zero gravity? That means you're floating, weightless in space. Gravity is what keeps you stuck on the ground down here. What about all the science experiments? Asked Papa. Could you do those, my brave explorer? What do you think? Can she do them? Can she do the science? I bet she can. No problem, said Astrid as they made rocket ship cookies. Oh, yum! Rocket ship cookies. I want some of those. Would you like some of those? Like a bedtime snack. Cookies and milk. Will a space cadet like you be able to sleep on your own among the stars? Papa asked. Oh, see, there she is, cuddled up in bed with Daddy and the kitty. You think she's gonna miss Daddy and the kitty if she goes into space? I think she might. I think that will be very hard, Astrid said. But I'll do it, she whispered. Sometimes things are hard, but you can do them. At last, it was time to go get Mama. Astrid wore her favorite space t-shirt. I wonder where Astrid's Mama works. They have to go get her. She's working somewhere. And Astrid is wearing a t-shirt with a rocket on it. Let's see. At the Space Center, Astrid and her papa moved to the front of the crowd just as the doors opened. What are these people? Are they astronauts? Look at, there's people taking pictures of them. They must be famous. See? These people must be famous. Mama! Astrid gave her mama a big kiss. I missed you, said Astrid. Where was Astrid's mama? Can you tell from the pictures? They went to the Space Center to get her. People were taking pictures, and she sure looks like she's wearing a flight suit. Let's see, where was Astrid's mama? I want to be an astronaut, just like you, Astrid said. You're my hero. Astrid's mama's an astronaut too. Oh, and there's more at the back of this book. You should always read the whole book because sometimes the story continues past the last page. Astrid has learned about being an astronaut. The word astronaut comes from two Greek words, astron, meaning star, and whoops, I have to turn it this way, and nautes, meaning sailor. American astronauts Neil Armstrong and Buzz Aldrin were the first to land on the moon in the lunar module Eagle on July 20th, 1969. The first animal to go into space was a dog named Laika on the Russian Sputnik 2 spacecraft in November 1957. And then we have all the female astronauts. Valentina Tereshkova from Russia was the first woman in space in 1963. Shannon Lucid from the United States set an early record for the longest time event in space by a woman, 188 days in 1966. May Carol Jemison was the first African-American woman in space in 1992. Helen Sharman was the first British astronaut and the first woman to visit the Mir space station in 1991. And then we have Kalpana Chawla was the first woman born in India to go to space. She went in 1997. Space food is freeze-dried so that it won't spill and cause damage to the machines. Fruit, bread, and nuts are okay as they are. So astronauts train underwater so that they can create the feeling of floating in space. So this was really cool. If you want to know more about female astronauts, we have lots of books in this library all about female astronauts because there are more of them. And that, my friends, is the end. And I just love how this book ends with stars, just stars, on this back page. Makes you want to dream about what you can do in the future. And there is Astro Girl. And now for our third book, I said we would read something about an imaginary creature. So we had some dogs, a real girl, and now the imaginary creature. And this book is called The Snatchabook. Who's stealing all the stories? Oh, I don't know. Let's find out who is stealing all of the stories. And this is by Helen Docherty, and it's published by Source Books Jabberwocky. And here we are. Let's see, I have to get myself situated here so that you can see the books. Oh my goodness. Are you ready? One dark night in Burrow Down, a rabbit named Eliza Brown found a book and settled down when she heard a Snatchabook flew into town. What is a Snatchabook? I've never heard of such a thing. Can you see it? Let's see. There is something up by the moon. Let's see. In every house, in every bed, a bedtime book was being read. Look at all these. There's the beautiful tree with all those beautiful lights. Oh my goodness. Looks very cozy. I think I'd like to live there. That's really neat. Oh, and here's a little door over here, and there's some people down there. Well, critters, not people. Oh, Miss Anne, you're so silly. Those are critters. So, tales of dragons, spitting flames, witches, and playing spooky games, pirates in the 7 seas, princesses trying to sleep on peas, and every child in every bed listened hard to each word said. Lots of cool stories in this. Eliza Brown, at number 3, was reading quite contentedly. Contentedly? That means she's very peaceful and very happy. She's very happy to be just reading. Her curtains opened just a jink. She barely had a chance to blink. Her storybook just disappeared. Eliza found that was very weird. Does that ever happen to you when you're just sitting there reading and something steals your book away? Well, it can happen in a book. All kinds of interesting adventures can happen in a book. The little owls on Mommy's lap were quite surprised to hear a tap against their bedroom window glass. Tap, tap. The noise came really fast. Before they'd even looked around, the book was gone, without a sound. Another book, shoop, gone. What's happening here? Let's see. The wind blew wild across the sky. The smallest squirrel heard a cry. "What's that?" she whispered to her dad. But then, and this was really bad, before they'd had a chance to look, she'd lost her very favorite book. Oh no! Favorite book? And so it went, night after night. Books disappeared from left and right. 5 books here and 6 books there. The shelves began to look quite bare. In Burrow Down, the rumors spread of the book thieves under every bed. Eliza Brown at number 3 was keen to solve the mystery. There's Eliza Brown. Let's see the whole thing over here. Everybody is wondering what is happening. What's going on? She planned one night to lie in wait and use a pile of books for bait. Oh, she's smart. Long hours passed without a peep. She'd nearly fallen fast asleep when suddenly Eliza heard a flap of wings. A bat? A bird? Eliza was a shadow loom. Eliza saw a shadow loom enormous right across her room. What kind of monster could it be? Eliza thought. You don't scare me. And yet, her heart was beating fast. She'd have to face that thief at last. Oh, there she is, looking out her window. Look at her face. Do you think she's frightened? I think she's frightened. Is she going to be brave? I think she's going to be brave. Let's look. She threw the window open wide and shouted to the thing outside, "Stop stealing all our books right now! Just give them back. I don't care how." I'm sorry, came a little voice. I really am. I had no choice. Eliza looked down in surprise. She couldn't quite believe her eyes. So who are you, and what's your name? The creature hung its head in shame. He mumbled with a mournful look, "I'm just a little Snatchabook." Oh. Well, he's very, very sorry, isn't he? Eliza nodded solemnly. She sat the creature on her knee. You can't just come and help yourself to every book on every shelf. Actually, where can you do that? Where can you help yourself to every book on every shelf? The library, of course. A tear rolled from the creature's eye, and softly he began to cry. And softly he began to cry. I know it's wrong, but can't you see, I've got no one to read to me. Eliza sighed. He looked so sad. If he had just a mom or a dad to read him stories every night, well, then he might behave all right. He needs someone to read to him. Just anybody to read to him. That's all he wants. That very night, they hatched a plan, and so the Snatchabook began. What do you think he's going to do? He's happy now. Somebody's going to read to him. To give back all the books he'd picked, Eliza Brown was very strict. Eliza's asking him to return all the books that he stole. Then, trying hard to prove himself, he stacked them neatly on each shelf. Oh, that's really nice. And when he'd made his full amends, Eliza called on all her friends. Oh, there they all are. Can you see them all? There's some on this page, and there's some on this page. And told them how he'd worked all night to turn a wrong into a right. Hey, we all make mistakes sometimes, right? And we're all just learning, so we have to forgive each other and try to do the right thing when we know what's right. Oh, I love it. There's this beautiful tree again with all those cozy lights. Oh, with everybody with their bookshelves and their cozy blankies. This is such a good night book. And now each night in Burrow Down, as darkness falls upon the town, in every house, in every bed, a bedtime book is being read. Oh, look at these cuties having such a good time reading. Ah, and look who's joining them. There's our Snatchabook. And if you take a closer look, you might find the Snatchabook perched happily on someone's bed, listening hard to each word said. They've invited the Snatchabook to hear stories with them. What a great idea! Now the Snatchabook won't be lonely and can have the stories. Now the Snatchabook can always visit the library. There's the end. Oh, look at this Snatchabook. He really loves books. Look at that stack. Now, if you need books, you can get your books from the library with our curbside pickup program. So if you call the library or go online and put your books on hold, you can come on over, get a giant stack just like this. Hey, thanks for listening to some stories with me tonight. Next week we'll read some funny ones too. And I hope everyone has a really great week and keep on reading every day. Just a little every day matters. And we miss you all, and I hope to see you soon. Bye-bye.